Here with us now, former U.S. Navy commander and former FBI special agent Rich Kulko. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Laura.
All right, so the U.S. carrying out this seventh straight day of strikes inside of Iran. I'm just wondering what you make of what we're seeing right now, how it's intensified. What does it take for this operation to be a success?
Well, I think it's rinse and repeat is what's happening. We keep doing the same thing night after night. It's very difficult to win this war just using air power, yet nobody's going to want to go in on the ground. So we're kind of in a difficult stalemate. They actually injured U.S. troops in Jordan last night. We haven't seen that in a while, thankfully. But Iran has the capability to continue these attacks, and I don't think we recognize that. It's a country twice the size of Texas, 90 million people. It's not just some small Gulf state that we can knock out using aircraft. It's a problem.
Yeah, and Trump is saying that the U.S. is making major progress in Iran at this point, and that the results, he says, will soon be clear. Let's listen to that.
We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really well.
So Iran is still launching missiles, though, and drones, too, despite repeated U.S. strikes, and they are targeting U.S. allies. So when we take a look at both sides, how long can we last? How long can Iran last? What's your take on that?
Oh, we'll win the battle. The question is, will we win the war? Iran is willing to sacrifice their citizens, which is the problem.
Right.
They're letting them starve. They're dealing with inflation. The country's going to be shut down. If it's not shut down now, it's going to be shut down soon. So absolutely, as the president said, U.S. military top notch. We've got the ability to stay there as long as necessary. The blockade will be successful. We can beat them up night after night after night. But they've got the ability to continue to manufacture these drones, manufacture the ballistic missiles, launch them into the other regions, and they're working hard to drag these other nations into this war. It's just ongoing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's an end anytime soon, even though there's been promises of it. President Trump has now ordered more U.S. refueling planes into Israel. Why do you think that Iran has been targeting U.S. Gulf allies, but has so far basically avoided directly attacking Israel?
Well, they're trying hard to find our aircraft wherever they're located. The tankers provide additional support to U.S. forces. We've got a very big tanker fleet, over 600 aircraft, I believe, in the U.S. Air Force. So what happens is a lot of our fighter aircraft are the ones shooting down these drones, shooting down these ballistic missiles. So they need to keep the fighters in the air. They don't want them near Iran, so they've got to fly longer distances. So having that tanker fleet in the area and operational definitely supports U.S. operations, makes us more successful. The men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces out there, they're going to do a great job. They are doing a great job. It's just we're going to be battling Iran for as long as they want to continue this. They've got more patience. We want this over.
Right.
It's difficult.
Yeah, and top U.S. and Iranian negotiators say that talks are still alive. Vice President Vance just this week explained that diplomacy has to be part of the strategy. Let's listen to him.
We got to kind of use all tools at our disposal. The military is one tool, but diplomacy is another tool. And I'm very frustrated by the Americans and, frankly, by people in other countries who are like, you cannot negotiate with the Iranians. Well, then what is your proposal to get people to stop shooting at ships in the Strait of Hormuz? You can bomb them. You can take away their radar, you can take away some of their drones and some of their missiles, but it's just too easy to fire at ships in the Straits. So you've got to actually be willing to talk and to try to figure out the problem.
So can military action and peace talks really progress at the same time? Obviously, it's been done for decades. You've got to have those two lanes going at the same time. But as it pertains to what we're doing right here.
We can, but I think it's interesting in this new world, things are a little more difficult. When you talk negotiation, I think it's important for the people on both sides to get into a room, shut the door, iron out the issues, and come up with some sort of peace deal. What's happening now is, believe it or not, social media. We've got the leaders of both countries posting all day long on social media, and that kind of backs you into a corner. Backs the negotiators into a corner when the presidents of the nation say something, and it makes it more difficult to negotiate. So it'd be just simpler if we could. It's not going to happen, but it'd be simpler if we could stop the social media back and forth and just let the negotiators do their job. Iran is going to have to come to the table and make a deal at some point. They're not going to be able to sustain this. What's interesting to me is we went into this wanting to assure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. That's still of critical importance, but it's kind of become number two. Right now, number one has become make sure that Strait of Hormuz is open so that global commerce can continue ahead successfully.
Thank you very much for filling us in. Former U.S. Navy commander and former FBI special agent Rich Kolko. We always appreciate having you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And in cities across the upper Midwest, Northeast, heavy smoke, hazardous air quality spreading, as you can see on this map, as active wildfires burn throughout Canada, creating a public health risk here in the